Hey guys, it's Greg Gizmozord Parker from, well, BlizzPro Weekly, Lords of the Storm, and Convert to Raid. And in this week's BlizzPro Weekly, the nerf gnomes visit Li Ming, GSL Code S is off and running, Overwatch beta gets some tweaks, and is Hearthstone's next expansion about to be announced? Hey there everyone, we are filming on February 21st, 2016, and this is episode 104. We would love to hear from you, so send us your emails at dearcloverfromblizzpro@gmail.com. The Heroes Charity Brawl event featuring the hosts of Lords of the Storm, Core, Stormcast, and Into the Nexus wrapped up this weekend, and in just 3 hours, we managed to raise $2,646 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, shattering our goal of $1,000. So thank you to everyone that came out and supported the event. It was a huge success, and look forward to another one in the future.
Nobody's going to pay to see this.
Hey guys, it's Greg Gizmozord Parker here once again with the latest on Heroes of the Storm. So we were met again this last week with yet another balance update that consisted of some slight changes to Li Ming. The biggest changes being the Astral Presence talent now triggers at 25% instead of 50%, and the S of Johan talent being removed. A lot of people were very upset to see this talent removed because it was fun and way too overpowered. They said Li Ming was going to be one of the highest skill-capped heroes in the game before she came out, and with this talent, it just wasn't the case. It made it too easy to land the Arcane or Magic Missile talent, or combo, and in turn, you just didn't have to be very good player to be a good Li Ming. She is still an amazing spot, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see some more number changes still coming her way. To check out a viable build with the changes, head over to heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. Okay, so I think it's safe to say the biggest change in the latest balance patch was the huge buff to Anubarak's Hardened Carapace. At level 20, you can almost survive an extra Abathur dick slap to the face. Honestly though, it just seems like Blizz is trying to encourage more Anubarak play in order to gather some more info to make some actual decent changes. So get in there, get Anubaraked, and watch out for those Abathurs. Spirion released a blog post this last week talking about the current state of matchmaking and the overall quality of matches since they've started making changes. It's a good read with some surprising numbers, and it's nice to know matchmaking is at least headed in the right direction, kind of. But we also shared our thoughts on the current state of the game on the latest episode of Lords of the Storm with our good friend Slambo, so if you're interested in our thoughts and opinions, make sure to check that out. The North American Spring Regional Tournament is coming up this next weekend, and we have our 8 teams who will battle it out to make it to the Spring Championship in April. Those teams are Team Naventic, formerly known as Bob Ross Fan Club, Cloud9, Cognitive Gaming, Tempo Storm, Team Blaze, Panda Global, Kings of Blades Alpha, and Team Nam. Let us know who you think will be the top 2 teams to move on in the comments below. That's going to wrap it up for news in Heroes of the Storm this week.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Hey everyone, Clover here. Nice to be in the studio. Sorry I missed you guys last week, but now we've got lots to talk about in the pro scene. The holy child of ESL's Sean Clark announced Friday morning that IEM's winter bracket will be drawn on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The drawing will be live streamed. I'm so excited. The Winter Circuit Championship is taking place in Katowice, and it will begin on March 4th, so you better get hyped. In other news, GSL Code S kicked off February 17th with Zest and Taeja emerging victorious, and on February 19th, Dream and Hero took victory, and those winners will advance to the round of 16. In Pro League, Week 3's lineup is out, and it looks like fire. On the 22nd, we've got the Green Wings facing KT, which will be lit. MVP versus SKTT1, and then on the 23rd we've got CJ Antis and Samsung Galaxy, and finally Africa versus KT. And to finish off with a little bit of StarCraft trivia, according to a Reddit source, 6 years ago, on January 19th, Wings of Liberty Beta was released. So there's a cute little bit to kick us off into Overwatch. Pew pew.
world could always use more heroes.
So, naturally, the Overwatch beta is still rolling. It's still one of the top viewed games on Twitch, at least somewhere on the list there, so that's always exciting. And actually, Overwatch just had another significant balance patch, trying to address some issues that players are having with the beta as it's come back. It fixed some minor bugs, so you can check those out in the patch notes if you'd like. But there were actually some changes that went into heroes and how they were balanced. For instance, we had Bastion, our robot-y turret guy. His recon configuration, that is the mode in which he can actually walk around, had the bullet spread decreased, which makes it where the bullets don't fan out nearly as much, and thus he does more damage in that mode. They also gave him his old bullet damage back in siege mode. So before it was nerfed, but now it is unnerfed. However, to balance this out, they took away any armor bonus that he gets when he goes into siege mode. So we first had him behind his own little shield, then he had a flat armor bonus. Now he's got none of those things. So a lot weaker in terms of taking damage, but stronger in terms of putting it out. So we'll kind of see how all that rolls out as we go. And interestingly, also, the other turret guy, if you will, Torbjorn, has had quite a few nerfs, but then a few little tweaks upward as well. I'll run over it a little bit. His turret damage is down a little bit, so it's not quite as punishing to be in line of sight of those. And actually, the amount of health that he gives the turret per swing of his repair is down to 50 from 100. So, I mean, it's been cut in half how quickly you can heal these up. And they said it was because some Torbjorns were just hanging out, healing their turret, and out-healing just normal amounts of damage. So it was a little problematic coming back from the beta there. But to counterbalance this, they did buff his alternate fire on his normal gun, allowing you now to shoot it 6 times instead of 4 before having to reload. And again, both these changes, Bastion and Torbjorn, were all about just cutting down on what people were starting to call turret watch. Games in which you would see sometimes 4 or 5 Bastions and a Mercy, or throwing in a couple Torbjorns in there on defense, and causing some problems for at least the newer players who don't know how to quite work around that yet. So we'll see if that helps out at all, or if they'll retweak stuff, as we go. And Diva is another one that had some changes to her. Her ultimate now charges over time, even while she's dead, or even when her mech suit is down, like when you're running around in human form. And this is a reaction to the fact that with the beta coming back, there was a change where you could no longer charge your ultimates by taking damage, and Diva was really good at just getting in there and soaking some damage for your team. So she just wasn't able to get enough of her ult, and frankly, Diva players were a bit mad that they just weren't blowing enough shit up. So they made some changes, and apparently she feels a little bit better now. And another interesting one, Mercy, everyone's favorite guardian angel, actually can no longer cast her guardian angel towards friendly corpses at this point. And that's the move in which she's able to dash to an ally or, as it was, a corpse to resurrect them, etc., etc. But the interesting thing is, this change went in, and Jeff Kaplan, the game director, has already said that they're going to revert the change back and allow you to then jump to corpses again. And the original issue, the reason why they took it out in the first place, was because some people were finding it difficult to tell the difference between a dead body and a live person, so they were jumping to a corpse and saying, "Hey, why can't I heal this thing? What the heck, Jeff Kaplan?" And I think, like, if you're doing that as Mercy, you might just switch to another character and try someone else out, because I don't know if Mercy's for you, if you can't tell the difference between a living ally and a dead one. So maybe that's why they're changing it back. Maybe they're, again, putting the onus on us to work on that. So anyway, Jeff Kaplan had an interview at PCGamesN.com, and he's said a couple things of interest. One, that ranked play will hopefully be available in the beta, but they're not sure. It could also be at launch, or he even said it's possible that it could be the first thing patched in after the game launches. So we're not talking months down the road, probably days or weeks, but that's still interesting that we wouldn't get a chance to potentially test out ranked mode at all until even after the game launches. So I'm hoping they're somehow able to squeeze some version of it in the beta so we can test that out. Also, he had another interview with Eurogamer where he talked about how they do plan, of course, to sell the loot boxes that have the skins in it. And frankly, I find this interesting because yes, everything out of the loot boxes is cosmetic, but in a way, they themselves kind of feel like Hearthstone packs. Like if you really wanted to rank up your skins and have a bunch of cool looking stuff, you could purchase more, and you don't know what's going to come in them, but obviously if you get duplicates of anything, you can cash those in for credits to buy individual skins as well, which is not all that unlike, getting duplicate cards out of packs in Hearthstone, disenchanting them for the arcane dust, and then crafting something yourself. So obviously they're taking some inspiration from Hearthstone, and I think it's going to work. I don't know how much money I'm going to spend on just straight cosmetics. I hope to unlock most of the stuff I want as it is, but we'll see how cool some of these skins are, though. I don't know, Safari Winston, I could see myself trying to grind that one out. But anyway, so that's pretty much it for Overwatch this week. Keep your eyes on Twitch. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and yeah, let's go ahead and talk some Hearthstone, though, while we're at it.
Pull up a chair by the hearth.
So, the word on the street is March 9th is a big media event for Hearthstone, where they're bringing in a ton of media talking heads. And I wonder what for. Probably that new expansion they're looking to announce here pretty soon. And I find this interesting because, naturally it's a little bit after the winter preliminaries for the North America, so naturally this is going to be them setting the stage for standard mode, as well as, of course, an entirely new expansion with new cards. So it begs the question, do we think we're going to see a really slow trickle of cards? Or, like when they come out with a couple a day and, reveal them via Twitter, etc., etc.? Do we think it's going to happen that way? Or is it possible that they could just announce it all at this event and then just drop all the cards right on top of us? I think the latter is a little bit more responsible on their part because, again, the season is over for the first winter preliminaries, and now we've got to be working on the spring ones. And, we've got to be playing in the mode and with the cards that we need to move forward. So taking a whole month to just drag it out and bring in a bunch of different cards doesn't seem like the best call to me, anyway. So we'll see what they actually do. I'm excited either way, and naturally we'll cover it all as it goes down. But anyway, so at this point, by the time you're watching the show anyway, both the European and North America winter preliminaries have taken place. And naturally, that we're recording right now on the Saturday, so I haven't seen the North America ones yet, but they're out by now. If you missed them, you can go check out the VODs. Check out our good friend Kevin Hovdestad as he was casting, see how he did. I imagine it was probably okay. The guy knows his stuff, But as for the EU one, it was really interesting because our winners are all people that you may not have heard about. For instance, we've got Dr. Hippie, Pokrovac, Nick Slay, Diggin, Tars, Cereza, Bunny Hopper, and Naaman. And what's interesting about this list is that there are really no really big names that made it through to the top 8, which then move on. We had people in this tournament like Kalento, Zixo, Tice, and also, I don't know if you've heard about this guy, the 2015 world champion Ostkaka was in this tournament, and even he didn't make the top 8. So a lot of people are talking about why this happened, and frankly, it's coming down to the fact that the game is so settled right now in its meta. Like, the decks that are out have been out for so long that if you're a halfway decent player, you can take games off of even the best just knowing the matchups and, playing with these really optimized deck lists. And so, we'll see how it goes. Naturally, standard mode's going to switch everything up on us and make it interesting once more. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, yeah, it was fun to watch, and I can't wait to go and watch the North American ones as well. So good luck to Kevin. I know this is going up after the event, so it seems a bit retrospective, but wish you the best all the same. Well, that about does it for this week yet again. Be sure to send Clover some email at dearcloverfromblizzpro@gmail.com and leave us some comments below. Let us know what you think. Also, be sure to check out all the other BlizzPro shows live at blizzpro/twitch.tv. On Sunday, we've got Well Met, the Hearthstone podcast. Tuesday, Heroes of the Storm Power Hour. Wednesday, West March Workshop for Diablo. Thursday now has the payload for Overwatch. Also, be sure to check the Zords out on our podcasts, such as Lords of the Storm, which is now live on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm, if you're looking for some more Heroes of the Storm content. And if you're looking for Overwatch, we also have the Cavalry podcast.